To our four-part webinar series entitled Transforming to a Digital PMO with AI. My name is Maria Hellner, and I will be the facilitator for all four of these events. I am delighted to have four subject matter experts join us today to be a part of this panel discussion series. So today we have Rich Weller of MIGSOP Cubed, and he is the Development, Innovation, and Performance of Services Director. We also have Karen Norris from MIGSOP Cubed, who is a seasoned PMO consultant. And then Arwin Adarna of Assembly AI is a customer experience manager, and Alec Rogers, also of Assembly AI, is a growth manager. Thank you all so much for being here to share your insights. So the topic for today's webinar is Adapting for Success, Exploring the Digital and AI Evolution of PMOs. Theme: as people registered for this event, they submitted suggestions for things that they would like to learn about. So we compiled their requests, and now I have a few questions for you. The first question that the audience would like to ask is, how has the PMO landscape changed over the recent years? Rich, I know you've been in the project management profession for about 30 years now, so how about we start with you?
Listen, audience, that's a great question. Thanks for sending that across. And to be quite honest, I could probably write a book on this topic, but let me see if I can't just summarize things in just a few minutes. And yeah, you're correct, Maria. I've been in the project management space for nearly 30 years and seen lots of changes related to the PMO. And to be quite honest, about 8 or 10 years ago, PMOs kind of started getting a little bit of a bad rap. And so let me start with there. Many organizations were just not really seeing the value that their PMO was adding to their organization. And to be quite honest, PMOs were kind of falling out of favor. But today it's not the case. Today we're actually seeing a resurgence of the PMO. And from my opinion, I believe this is occurring for a few different reasons. One of which is I believe that the PMOs are now focusing on just that, focusing on providing value to the organization as opposed to just, and to quote one of my friends from the past, as opposed to just beating and tracking. So again, I think PMOs today are focusing on providing much more value to the organization. And we're also seeing what I would call like specialist PMOs emerge, like supply chain PMOs, security and compliance PMOs, and so forth. But the primary reason I believe that we're seeing this resurgence of the PMO and what I would say is the biggest changes in the PMO landscape over the recent years is due to technology. We have more modern technology at our hands, at our fingertips today that's much easier for us to work with and build solutions than just a few years ago, or even just a couple years ago, or things are moving so fast even just a couple months ago. We can do things that we couldn't do in the past. And also, while I have the floor here, I will also toss out the term citizen developer to our audience. And if you're not familiar with this term, I'd suggest that you Google PMI's citizen developer program. But again, coming back, what we are seeing and how we help our client organization is really to focus on leveraging technology. As I mentioned, I think that's the biggest game changer, causing the transformation in the way the landscape of the PMOs. We focus on leveraging technology to really do two things, right? We could go chase all kinds of bright, shiny stuff, and we could have long definitions, but we really focus on two things. That is improving our processes and improving our decision making. And with that, I believe those things, with that mindset, that's why we're seeing, again, the PMOs adding values. And so with that, I think that kind of summarizes my perspective on the latest recent changes.
Thanks, Rich. And Karen, so as a PMO subject matter expert, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, Maria, sorry. So going off of what Rich said, this new technology that we have access to has allowed much more time, right? So adding that value into a PMO because we have more time to look at the future, be predictive, work on some of those soft skills involving people, right? We're all remote now. This is a remote webinar, and being able to manage those things is something that we can do to assist in a PMO. So taking the technology, but then also taking the time that the technology saves us to add even more additional value to a PMO is, in my opinion, been exponential in making that value for PMOs.
Yeah, and if I could just add one more comment or one more thing to this, you know, again, transformation, been doing this for a long time. Years ago, we only knew one way, and that was our waterfall traditional. And then agile crept in, excuse me, sorry for that slip there. Agile crept into our nomenclature, into our project management world, and we learned how to do things in more of an iterative way and more of a faster approach, and taking that feedback from our customers and baking that back in. And in today's world, we're leveraging the term. Again, if you want to go Google something and come up to the latest, look up the phrase hyper agile, because that's where we are today. We're employing and deploying this hyper agile methodology to allow us to get to that minimal viable product much more quickly. And what does that minimal viable product do? It adds value to our organization. So
Thanks so much, Rich and Karen. So the next question that the audience would like to know is this: what is the definition of AI, artificial intelligence? Arwin, can I call upon you to provide your thoughts on this?
Of course, yeah, happy to do that, Maria. Yeah, so for those of you who wonder what is the definition of AI, I think we can already know that there are many definitions of artificial intelligence, but to describe it in a simple terms, AI is machine's ability to perform the cognitive functions we usually associate with the human minds. Now, to expand a little bit, if we look back not too long ago, the Industrial Revolution have made life as we know it possible. And yet, despite the seemingly endless utility, humans have long feared machines. More specifically, the possibility that machines might someday acquire human intelligence and strive out on their own. And talking about the smart machines, personal calculator was once a very expensive device that became widely available. It was considered a smart machine that are now just an ordinary part of our lives and culture. Now, smart machines are getting faster and more complex, and it is not just about computation anymore. Computers and other devices are now acquiring skills and perception that have previously been our sole range of experience and thought. So artificial intelligence is a machine's ability to perform the cognitive functions such as perceiving, reasoning, learning, interacting with environment, problem solving, and even exercising creativity. Nearly all industries can benefit from AI. Some use cases might include predictive analysis, process optimizations, and many more. You've probably seen that generative AI tools like ChatGPT can generate endless hours of entertainment. The opportunity is clear for businesses as well. The technology can help organizations to save time and resources and create new opportunities to create more value. Adoption of AI has more than doubled since 2017, and enterprises are leveraging this technology to scale faster and also to upskilling their talents. I like Rich Weller's view of the AI technology when we discussed about this in the past. He viewed the AI technology as another team member or addition to the team. We should understand its strength and also its weaknesses and collaborate together to capture the opportunity. Now, most organizations are dipping a toe into the AI pool, not cannonballing, but leaders who effectively break down these barriers will be best placed to capture the opportunity of an era. And crucially, companies that are not making the most of AI are being taken by those that are. To summarize, AI is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. And for business leaders like our attendees today, I invite you all to explore more on the digital and AI evolution of the PMOs, to adopt and bolster an agile mindset. Now, back to you, Maria.
Thank you very much, Arwin. Rich, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, for sure, I'd like to add something, and I'll tell you why. Because you can't go 5 minutes today in today's world without seeing some social media post or getting some email related to AI, and that is today. But hold on a second. Let me share this with the audience. Back in 2019, yes, 2019, 4 years ago, before it was all hot, we set up a LinkedIn group called AI in Project Management 4 years ago, and it started off small, just a few people in there, but they were like pretty senior thought leaders. I'm not going to name drop any names here, but the head of large project management organizations and authors of a number of books joined that LinkedIn group, and today the group is still out there, and there are hundreds of people out there that are all like-minded people that are all wanting to do the same thing. They all have that same desire, and that is to basically leverage technology to improve our project management profession, and not just incremental improvement. And that's what we shouldn't be looking. We shouldn't be looking for a little. We should be looking to make a paradigm shift. We should be looking to leverage technology to help improve that success rate of our projects across the board, and we can. And I promise you, it will. And years ago, I went on a presentation circuit where I said AI is coming. AI is coming. That's not true today. AI is here today. It is upon us today, and it is definitely positively impacting our project management profession. And there's a quote out there. I saw one of those social media memes or quotes that said, AI won't replace you, but someone who embraces AI will. So there's my tip for you. So get on the bandwagon, as Arwin said here. You got to learn how to embrace this technology. Again, things are changing so fast, so rapid right now. It's like that, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that concept around Moore's law, but we are kind of experiencing that change, and technology is just changing so quickly. It's almost hard to keep up with, but I'll tell you, I'm not trying to sell here. I'm just saying there's a LinkedIn group out there. If you go to AIinprojectmanagement.com, it will direct you to that LinkedIn group, and you can be a part of the movement that helps us leverage technology to improve the project management profession. And these people are all doing those things. They're leveraging those things that Arwin talked about. They want to improve their processes with automation. They want to improve their decision making and move towards leveraging that. There's another phrase out there. Data is the new gold. And they want to learn how to capture and harness that data and leverage those predictive analytics, not so much like our PMOs of the past where we were kind of like reporting on the past, but let us be more predictive. Let us be able to see out into the future and make things better today and go in the right direction based upon that, those information that's coming from those predictive analytics. And again, as Arwin mentioned, the fact that if you were to go Google, I think one of our biggest challenges is just that. It is, what is the definition of AI? I mean, if you go Google the term artificial intelligence, and you review those first 6 responses, you'll get 6 different definitions. But from what I'm seeing, again, there is no standard agreed upon definition of artificial intelligence. But at this point in time, the term is very mystical. It's very similar to when the term agile, again, I referenced that earlier, when the term agile integrated into our project management space. When people say agile, most generally what they mean is that Scrum framework or the Kanban approach. And I see this term AI also being used as very much an umbrella term. And depending upon which definition that you choose to go with, that dictates actually which technology would fall underneath this umbrella of AI. And Arwin, that one definition that you provided, again, it aligns very closely to our way of thinking in our organization, and that is all about leveraging technology to improve our processes and our decision making. Hopefully that helps.
Definitely does. Thank you, Rich. And we actually have another question for you. So can you tell us a little bit about what exactly a digital PMO is?
Yes, the term digital PMO. So digital PMO, it's really your classic PMO, like the PMOs of the past, but really a PMO that is doing just that, mastering our digital project management tools or technology that's out there and using those to bring that value back to the organization and also enhance the customer's experience to its stakeholders. Again, it's all about leveraging tools and technology and digitizing information, and it's about data processing and data analysis coupled with that automation. Again, data is the new gold, and digital, I'm telling you right now, digital is at the core of today's successful PMOs. And with that being said, I'd like to just go on a little bit and say, well, what is the value of a digital PMO or this digital PMO over our traditional the PMOs of the past? And I've alluded to it already, and that is speed wins. In today's world, speed wins. Get our products to the market quicker, get our answers to our people more quickly. And in doing so, that our digital PMO focuses on or will or does bring value back to the business. And that's by leveraging these tools. We have the ability to serve up information real time data, and help with that decision making. It can be self-served so that individuals can get access to or acquire the information, what they need, when they need it. The digital PMO, another value of a digital PMO is the information is more accurate, right? We're not copying and pasting in information from one spreadsheet to another and sending it via email. No, that's not how a digital PMO works. We're using, our more modern solutions, and our data is more accurate. And it's also, as I mentioned earlier, more forward-looking. We want to look out into the future. We want to be more able to predict the future. What projects should we be working on? What projects should we stop working on? What are some issues that we might run into on this project that our technology can see today? And I promise you, I was just on a conversation about this concept earlier this morning, and it is there. It is at our fingertips, and it is coming. I promise you, it's right here to be able to query, very similar to the ChatGPT type functionality. What risks do you see on this project, or where am I going to experience issues in the future? Imagine being able to ask that of a chatbot or an agent, a personal agent. Also, believe it or not, a digital PMO is less costly because we're relying upon we're leveraging the technology as opposed to so much manual labor and effort. And also it's less costly because there are less mistakes, right? Because the systems and our tools and our technology, providing we set it up correctly, makes less errors than I do or we do as humans, and also less costly because of effort. And again, back to that comment around, hey, what's a project manager or what's a PMO going to do with all this extra time, Rich, that you're saying is going to come from a digital PMO? Well, it's going to allow us, as Karen mentioned, it's going to allow us to focus on the people quadrant and build those strong relationships that, again, supports the business and points or provides us the opportunity for more project success.
Thanks so much, Rich. Hey, Alec, is there anything that you would like to add to that as well?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you, Rich. I mean, that was great. Your perspective really is as good as it gets. So I'm going to try to add a little bit of color from my perspective on the software side. And that's this point Rich made about how, becoming a digital PMO is not a incremental change, right? It's not bringing in one piece of technology that looks flashy and futuristic. It really is about this idea of stepping back, where a project management office will take the time to ask themselves, what is it that we need to solve for? What are these tasks that have bogged down our teams for decades? And to ask how it is that technology can help us to streamline some of this work. So of course, we are at a really exciting time in 2023 in that a lot of these conversations will indeed be about AI. And there are quick wins, some of the ones Rich has mentioned about automating dashboards, self-serve to get real-time data, visualize the progress on a project, that sort of thing. But I think that what we're seeing is that the biggest benefit in migrating is this human, is this emotional aspect, so that when our PMs have this time opened up that they did not previously, because AI is stepping in, handling some of these manual, repeatable tasks, we can now ask ourselves the big questions that we didn't always have a chance to ask, like what type of sentiment are we getting through our interactions with our customers, with our colleagues as part of the same project? How is it that I can leverage my time to get everyone working in harmony? And how will this affect my decision making? So really similar points to much of what Rich said. I think it's this circular ending of, if we now have the time to ask ourselves these really, really critical, valuable questions, then I think we're on the right path. Just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Alec. The next question that came across from our audience is this. Can you give us examples of some of the technology that you're seeing being used in current digital PMOs? Rich, maybe you could start, and then we could have Karen give us an opportunity to address that as our PMO experts on the call today.
No, you said that just right. You always set me first and then let Karen clean up all my messes. That's good. So, hey, what we're seeing today, we're a partner with not only Microsoft, Planisware, and Smartsheet, but we also have experience with, or expertise with, Primavera P6 and Google Suite. Like we know these different enterprise project management technologies, but and so do you probably. Many of you are probably leveraging them. But I want to talk about something a little bit different, because as a partner of Microsoft, we're actually seeing a surge, and this is kind of, again, like a trend in the PMOs. We're seeing a surge in what I referenced earlier as more modern tools. And you remember, for those on the call, back in the day, many years ago, we used to get a CD or a DVD that had Microsoft Office on it, right? You got Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook came on that CD. Well, today, Microsoft offers a different product, if you will, and it's called Power Platform. And if you're not familiar with Power Platform, again, go Google that. And what you'll find, there's a number of different applications that are part of that Power Platform: Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps, Power Virtual Agent, and there's one called Power Pages. And all of these applications, they can actually be used by someone and leveraged by someone who is not a developer. And I'm telling you right now, our consultants, we've leveraged these products to help our clients build valuable solutions without a whole lot of effort in a short amount of time that, again, returns value back to the organization. We couldn't answer that question without saying, hey, ChatGPT, Arwin, you referenced it earlier. I've used it 3 times today already to help me answer some questions and formulate my responses to some things. And then there's all of its derivatives, if you will. Those all are adding great value in what we're seeing being used today. But the last one and my favorite one, it's my personal digital assistant, and that is Sembly. And with that, Karen, can I, as the leader of our Sembly Center of Excellence, can I turn it over to you here, and maybe you could give us a few words about our good friend Sembly?
Yes, thanks, Rich. So one of the best tools that I'm utilizing right now is Sembly, and we'll get into some details later on, but it's a virtual assistant, right? So it attends all of the meetings that you're in, and it takes transcription, it takes notes, it stores all of the data that you have. So kind of going back to the beginning of this webinar, we were talking about saving time, allowing for better analysis, and that's exactly what Assembly is doing, right? So it's reducing some time by taking automatic meeting minutes, and it's also allowing me to search through meetings very quickly, very easily, instant responses. It has a chat GPT like feature, so creating emails to go out. So Assembly is definitely one of those tools that's going to just take you to that next level, right? It's just going to summarize the data from all of your meetings. And that's one of the things that I think some of those other tools haven't had. So for me, it's a lifesaver. For those of you that are in meetings, it's a lifesaver, definitely.
Thank you so much, Karen. I just want to thank our panelists once again and thank all of you so much for joining. We'll see you at the next event. And if there's any questions in our questions tab, we'll be following up with you after this session. Thank you all so much.